welcome back to my channel. Over the past 100 years, gay-themed cinema has evolved from coded whispers to full-on celebrations. In this week's video, I'm counting down my picks for the top 10 groundbreaking films from the past 100 years, one for each decade. These aren't just movies, they are milestones in gay representation. I made a similar video to this one last week about gay anthems for the past 100 years, and somehow I messed up my editing and some viewers were quick to point out my mistake. I do apologize. I do not know what happened with the editing. I do record my voiceovers on a Monday and then I edit throughout the week, so I kind of messed up my editing when it came to 70s and the 80s. I do apologize. I promise I'll try my best not to let it happen again. But for now, let's head over towards Rainbow and follow the yellow brick road and start the journey throughout 100 years of gay movies.
Follow the yellow brick road.
We're starting off this list in the roaring 20s with Manslaughter. While not a gay film in the traditional sense, it features one of the earliest and boldest instances of same-sex imagery in mainstream cinema. It was a blink and you'll miss it moment when two women kissed in a prison. But it was quite a shocker at the time the film was released in 1922. In an era of prohibition and moral conservatism, the moment was revolutionary. Manslaughter reminded us that queer presence in film didn't begin in the 60s. It was there from the start, hidden in the shadows of silent cinema.
Want to see what you look like?
I don't think I'll be called upon to defend my honor.
I doubt it.
It's a pity.
I wonder if some lipstick would help.
Oh, no.
Well, why not?
The 40s were anything but open about queerness, but 1949's I Was a Male War Bride gave us a gender-bending comedy with a wink. Cary Grant and drag might have been played for laughs, but for many queer viewers it was something more. It was a joyful, rule-breaking fantasy. It didn't scream gay, but it tiptoed on the line, and in an era of censorship, it subtly meant everything.
He'd kept quiet about his transvestite desires in the hopes that the new wife would never discover it. However, one day, the little woman came home unexpectedly an hour early.
1953's Glen or Glenda is often mocked for its low-budget chaos, but it is actually one of the most sincere early attempts at grappling with gender identity and queerness. The film centers on a man struggling with what was then known as cross-dressing, and while it's clumsy, it is also surprisingly compassionate and will definitely strike an emotional chord with the right viewer. In a decade defined by repression, Glen or Glenda dares to say, gender is complicated and that's okay. It would also lay the foundations for similar films in the decades that followed.
I had a very strange phone call, Brig.
Who was it?
I don't know, a man. He said to tell you before you go on with the Leffingwell matter, you ought to remember what happened in Hawaii. And then he hung up.
Set in the heart of American politics, Advise and Consent features a subplot involving a senator who's blackmailed over a past gay affair. It wasn't the first film to feature a blackmail plot, but it was definitely the first film to prominently feature blackmail in regards to a same-sex relationship. The film was amongst the first mainstream dramas to acknowledge gay identity as part of a complex adult life, not just a punchline or pathology.
I needed money, Brig. Well, you wouldn't see me. I kept calling. I was drunk, Brig. If I only knew I wouldn't hurt you.
Up until then, homosexuality was usually incorporated into films for laughs and hardly ever represented gay men authentically. Advise and Consent was a bold move in Cold War era Hollywood, where even saying the word homosexual was taboo. This may have been a ploy to exploit the then views of homosexuality, but the film is an important step in LGBTQ representation in media nonetheless.
I went shopping today and got all kinds of goodies. Sandalwood soap, your very own toothbrush, because I'm sick to death of you using mine. How do you think I feel? You've had worse things in your mouth.
The 70s gave us two important pieces of cinema history when it came to LGBTQ representation. First off, The Boys in the Band was a raw, unfiltered look at gay life during the 70s, something that hadn't been prominently featured before. A group of friends gather for a birthday party, but what unfolds is a brutal and brilliant analysis of internalized homophobia and chosen family.
Tomorrow's another day.
Meanwhile, 1971's Fortune and Men's Eye, which was adapted from a 1967 play of the same name, exposed the harsh realities of gay life in the prison system, a brutal, often overlooked corner of queer experiences. Together, these two pieces of gay cinema history signal the beginning of honest, painful and necessary storytelling.
It was another day in New York. Robert was moving to Africa.
I want to leave because it's gotten too settled.
Michael was hating him for it.
Some viewers might not agree with my choice for the 80s, but trust me, it wasn't easy picking just one film that defined gay representation in one of the darkest decades.
When saying goodbye can be a harsh reality to face. Parting glances.
The AIDS epidemic cast a long shadow over the 80s, but Parting Glances gave us something rare, a gay film filled with love, wit and emotional authenticity. It follows 24 hours in the lives of a young couple and their friend dying of AIDS, played with heartbreaking charm by Steve Buscemi. It didn't sensationalize or pity its characters, it celebrated them. It was a love letter to the resilience of queer communities in the crisis. Not only did this film give Steve Buscemi his first major movie role, it's also considered by many film critics as an important film in the history of gay cinema.
Don't use that tone to me.
What tone?
That sarcastic, contemptuous tone that means you know everything because you're a man.
The 90s was another decade with countless great films featuring gay characters and storylines. But this one is a bit more personal to me, as it was the first time I ever saw gay characters front and center in a film.
You're a great performer, I'm a great director. Together we can do almost anything.
Campy, hilarious and heartwarming. The Birdcage was a rare mainstream hit that put a gay couple at the center, played by Robin Williams and Nathan Lane with absolute heart. Yes, it was flamboyant, but it was also deeply human with elements many viewers could relate to irrespective of their sexuality. This film told viewers, gay parents exist, they love their children and they're not going anywhere. In a decade wrestling with don't ask, don't tell, The Birdcage was a glitter-covered act of defiance. Sure, other notable films were released during the 90s, but they didn't reach similar box office success like The Birdcage.
Excuse me, miss. This man, tell me, which is it? Not a
I'll have to say big.
The further we go with this list, the more difficult it became to narrow down each decade to one film. But I think I found one film that defined the early 2000s. Sorry, but it's not Brokeback Mountain, even if it was an award-winning film. At the turn of the millennium, the Broken Hearts Club offered something revolutionary, a normal depiction of gay people. No trauma, no tragedy, no melodrama, just a couple of gay friends navigating love, heartbreak and of course brunch. It was often called The Gay Friends, but it did more than just entertain. It redefined what gay movies could be. It told queer audiences, your story doesn't have to be sad to be valid. Many critics drew comparisons between the film and the 1970s Boys in a Band, noting that the latter wasn't as upbeat and optimistic, and that Broken Hearts Club shows how far homosexual characters have come since the 70s depiction of sad broken characters or peekaboo moments on sitcoms.
The Broken Hearts Club.
Can you imagine if they made a film about our group of friends?
And I want you to come back with me, and I want us to be together. I want to be with you. And that's what I need to say.
Quiet, powerful and deeply intimate, God's Own Country is a love story between a rough English farmer and a Romanian migrant worker. It's often compared to Brokeback Mountain, but this time, the ending isn't tragic. Its beauty lies in the silence, the stolen glances, and the way love changes a man from the inside out. In a decade full of queer cinema, this one stood out for its soul. Upon its release, the film received widespread acclaim and won several accolades at various international film festivals.
We were called and are united by a common vision that we cannot ignore. The four of us are here to prevent the apocalypse.
And finally, the 2020s. Although there's an abundance of LGBTQ themed films out there, I had to pick one, and the one that I picked happened to be the only one of its genre on this list. Knock at the Cabin is a high-stakes thriller that centers on a gay couple and their daughter as the victims of a home invasion, without making queerness the point of conflict. In M. Night Shyamalan's apocalyptic tale, the central family isn't fighting for acceptance, they're fighting to save the world. It's representation without explanation, and that's what makes it revolutionary.
Your family has been chosen to make a horrible decision. If you fail to choose, the world will end.
The leader of the gang was told by a greater power that the couple holds the key to stopping the apocalypse. The film gave me chills and has a powerful message that any person, irrespective of his sexual identity, can shape fate in the most profound ways. If you enjoyed this video, why not try my video about the 10 best gay anthems of the past 100 years. I'll put a link to that video at the end of this video for you to watch. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching my videos, and if you haven't given me a like or subscription yet, what are you waiting for? It's a basic way to support me on the YouTube channel platform. And also, if you click subscribe and like, it helps other people, or it rather helps the algorithm to send my videos to more people like yourself that might enjoy my content. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.